All right, so let's call this meeting to order, 7:32. All right, so. I'll get your package. You do a package, because my package is coming. All righty. So, any public comments?
I can.
So I walk into the room, the meeting room, and there are all these people. I'm like, oh, public comments. And then I go, no, that's not our meeting. So, all right, so no public comments. Let's review the minutes. I guess for starters, we have a motion to pass the minutes. We need a
I
mo-
second it.
Who was who first? You seconded it, and who was the first? Did you do that?
Nobody.
Oh, first we need a first.
I'll do it first then.
Okay, and I will second that.
Okay, thank you, Mike, and thank you. And any discussion? I think there's one small typo, which I can show you again. Under road race, just, John added that he let someone borrow his phone. It was just an H was left afterwards. That's the only thing I noticed. Any other comments? All
Nope.
all right, all in favor of passing these minutes? Say aye.
I,
Aye for me as well. Gregory Smith? Smith raise the chair? Of course. Oh, the layout, you can shift the layout.
Yeah, you go to layout up top
Here.
and then do a grid.
And- Okay. All right, we're very high tech here. All right, cool. So, let's move my report. Okay, so firstly, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I want to extend my gratitude to all of you who keep all of this running within our limitations. And so that's staff and commissioners and all the people behind the scenes to make it happen. And of course, our fearless leader, John, well, bowing to. And Jim and John and Happy's here in the office as well. So thank you so much. I know that tomorrow night is the capital budget meeting. So any,
Starts at 6, but we won't be on probably.
It's supposed to be that 6.
Yeah.
so 6:30, so anyone who can be there to support John would be greatly appreciated. I couldn't be there, John. Does anyone else think they can make it to the capital budget meeting? This is where John goes before the Board of Selectmen.
And Board of
And Board of
Finance.
Finance, yeah. So if able, please do, I will be there at your side. Okay. And I think that's it for the meetings. There will be,
Building committee meeting, one Thursday morning at 8:30.
okay, and we'll talk about that. Okay. The other thing I wanted to report on was the, and it's very nice to see, Dwight, you're here as our liaison tonight and everyone else. So thank you for being here. So I'm on the Cultural Community Center, Building Committee. And I just wanted to do a quick update about that. So, we've been meeting monthly, our committee, and in November, mid-November, we met with all the directors of the town departments, including our esteemed John Adamovich. And we received some good and some positive feedback about the plans. The next step in this will present to the Board of Selectmen December 14th, I believe. And then we'll have a community at large meeting in January And the plan is to start the building probably by the time everything gets approved, late summer into early fall. And the money does have to get spent. We have $2 million for this project. So this is the old firehouse being converted to a community and cultural center. And in discussing the committee as a whole, we've talked about the inside, the building itself, and then how to link it outside to kind of incorporate and make it, user friendly and pleasant spaces to enjoy from, the youngest to the oldest in our community. And some of those outside projects that we can't all probably be completed under this grant, but there's lots to continue to work through other potential grants, and it might have to be phased in. So I just wanted to share that. I don't know, well, we'll get John's feedback. And then the other thing to report on that's also fairly major, and let me just back up, this Community and Cultural Center, the plan does include space for the gym and space for a room a multi-purpose room that can include yoga or Tai Chi or other recreational activities, as well as perhaps other community activities. And then there's this town building committee for Beach Road School about capital projects that John has attended. Jim attended one with me virtually. I attended a couple. So that committee is really looking at the school and space issues. They're not the committee that's going to be involved in actually doing the renovation. There'll be some other Board of Ed committee, I think, that will form, that will be involved with looking at the renovation, expanding for more classroom space they're looking for, but that's down the road. There's no construction date planned at this point. The reason I tell you all this is because this does potentially have an impact on the pool. So there was a walkthrough of the interior part of Beach Road School on November 28th. And they were particularly concerned about there are some roof leaks and there's some effort to correct the leaks, but there's no, but a full renovation isn't expected to start till summer 2024. That's my understanding, where there'll be some roof replacement and exterior projects. There has been discussion. Beecher Road School is in search of space for classrooms, 7 classrooms, and there has been discussion as to would the area where the pool is be potentially a space for classroom usage. So there's been a walkthrough. They're going to put out an RFP for an architectural engineering firm to look at the space, to think about what's the most economical way, my understanding, to expand, to create more classroom space. Nothing is definitive at this point. The next time this committee is meeting is Thursday at 8:30. If anyone is able to be there.
The town hall upstairs.
Just upstairs, will you be there, John?
Yes, I'll be there. They're gonna be doing a cost differential between building a new wing and adding to the footprint of Beach Road School, or taking over the space in the pool area and converting that to classroom space, and see the cost differential, what it would cost to do either project. That's all they're looking at right now.
So we don't know how that'll all sort of shake out. I think from my perspective, I'd like to hear from all of you if there's any way, whether or not that plan proceeds on. It sounds like whether the plan proceeds on to create that pool space into classroom space would still take a while before that could happen. So with not knowing what's going to happen, I would still love to see the funding placed to fix the filters.
Yes, they did fix the filters and get that up, and we can get the pool up and running for at least 3 years.
And that's about roughly $50,000.
Right,
That's our understanding.
that's the cost.
So those are the couple of main things I want to share for starters, and we'll be talking more about some of these items later on in the agenda. I don't know if anyone has any comments or that. We will be talking about the pool later on. So I wanted to share.
When you say the fitness center over at the old fire,
Yes.
are like they thinking of moving our office over there too, or no, that would, anything on that?
I believe one of the plans there were a couple of different plans, and one of the plans did include office space. So hopefully that. Yeah, good question. Any other?
Andrea, is it time to ask questions about the Beecher Road School plan, or should we hold off?
You could, I mean, we don't have it in the rest of our agenda
The
here.
pool updates. And that's all.
Oh, yeah, pool up, yeah, it could be in the pool updates. Yeah, I guess wait till pool updates. That makes sense. Okay. So why don't we turn the, pass the scepter to you, Smith? Good segue as our vice chair.
So I would like to give out a huge kudos to Teresa for for continuing the remote activity on Facebook. I've seen a couple of them, and I want to thank you for doing that, and kudos to you for continuing that. And I'm assuming that you're still at the fitness room. I haven't heard anything differently, but thank you for all your hard work, keeping up with everything that you're doing. So thank you, Teresa, for that. I also want to just mention also that I want to that all the program I know has starting. My son is very excited about doing a couple of the upcoming programs that are starting next week. So thank you for those, and kudos to all of the teachers of all the rec programs work and continue to put in their hard work for teaching all of our kids and everybody that's organizing all those activities. So thank you for doing that. And we appreciate it, and the parents appreciate it. I've heard a lot of great comments on all programs, and families are looking forward to the winter program to get the kids continued exercise. So thank you so much. And I am going to pass it on to Dwight at this point.
Thanks, Smith.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well and happy holidays. Okay, the Board of Finance is basically focused on just looking at all the budgets. We have the capital budgets coming in tomorrow, the last group, and then early part of January we'll be hearing the operating budgets, and then we'll be acting on those. Other than that, that's about it.
So I don't know that you would have any comments about this idea of putting money into the pool. I mean, you're a liaison, but this idea, for starters, if there are monies to take care of the initial filters to get the pool back up and running. If you have any comments about that, Dwight.
I mean, I would like to see it happen. I'm not against it, but again, we have to look at the overall budget and find out where the money can be found.
Sure.
I mean, it is going to be another tough year coming up. So, we just have to be, we have to be cautious on where it is, but I do agree. Okay, the pool is an asset to the town, and we should try to keep it going as long as we can.
Yes.
Dwight, the next item on our agenda is this discussion about the pool, but I'm wondering if the letters that people are writing are making any impact, number one. And second of all, are they getting to the Board of Selectmen?
I don't know if they're getting to the Board of Selectmen. I am seeing copies of them from Jim as a liaison. So I get copies of those and I've been reading most of them.
They are,
Yeah, we send them to every single person on the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, so everybody, as long as everybody's been getting them, then,
Send it to Jerry Shaw, and Jerry Shaw sends them out.
right.
yeah,
Thank you, Jim.
And I just wanted to quickly follow up on the conversation that Andrea had started about the Beecher Building Committee.
Mm.
And the Beecher Board of Ed also mentioned that it may be time we look for space and build another school. Instead of adding on or instead of putting money into Beecher, continuing to put in money. So that was something that was also thrown out at that meeting on, during the walkthrough last week.
really, wow, that's fascinating.
So I don't know where that's gonna head or whatever, but they are gonna put a subcommittee together to study that as well as the renovations.
Yes, that's interesting.
Are projecting that the enrollment's gonna grow. Currently, it's about 850 to about 950 or so in 8 to 10 years. So they are gonna need the space. So that was one of the things that one of the members threw out last week during the walkthrough.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to comment, though, I do know that, John, you had a conversation with Tony Genovese about how that could contribute from our budget towards pool repair.
Right, we have funds that we can use that we are not using for the pool that we're in our budget like this right now. And we'd be able to, that $50,000 is probably gonna drop down to about 30. The town would only have to come up with $30,000 because we're giving back what we can, about 17,000 right off the top. And then they're gonna check the pool and gym budget, see if they can give back anything, and that'll go towards the filters.
So that's definitely noteworthy to bring back to the Board of Finance. I know John works very hard to work within the,
And Tony knows that. I prepared that and showed it to him and explained it to him. But if you could like to give it to the whole Board of Selectmen and let them know that the recommendation is, putting their money where their mouth is, and we're putting up 17,000 out of our budget. Because the pool's not gonna be, open another month or two. All those salaries and everything like that are gonna go towards, that we're saving, go towards the filter.
Okay.
okay. All right, thank you. Thanks, Dwight. So I guess we're just segueing into the pool. So other comments about this? Questions?
Well, when I was at the meeting, they had two things they talked about was the roof. The roof is leaking in a spot where they're not going to be fixing, so that's what they're going to be doing. That was the first thing, checking to see where those leaks on the flat roof are coming from, because it's going to be leaking 40, 50, 60 feet away and coming out a different area. So that was the first thing then. And the second thing they went into was the pool and the utilization of the space. Either build a new wing and add to the footprint of the school, or take over the pool and change that into classroom space. There was no discussion on adding the pool to the their building committee project, whatever it is like that, the $1 million like that. It was said that they did say, not at this meeting, but the meeting before, that they felt that if we added the pool to their bill of building, that they felt that people might object to it. They're afraid that people might object to building the pool and they'll not get their roof. They're looking at it that way. Whereas I was looking at it as we add it to their building, fee like this, and it will go right through and we'd have it all together at once. But that was their feeling. So I didn't get any positive readback from the building committee.
I'm wondering in the possible plans for expansion, if they would take any of the recreation facilities there, specifically the tennis court. It's probably too early to tell at this point.
I mean,
You're talking about if they expand the footprint?
Correct.
I think there's old plans that they would start with. And I do not believe that it impedes on any of the sports facility stuff. I think it goes back off the back into the woods or something.
Okay.
So I'm not completely sure, but there is a plan. If as they start looking at that closer, there's a plan that was put together. I don't know, Dwight, if you know how long ago, or if you're familiar with it, but it's several years ago. But I think they would start with however that was recommended then.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know there was something drawn up, but that was years and years and years ago.
But of course, anything. I mean, it is an old plan. I think that would just be a starting point. Obviously, anything is on the table at this point.
Right, okay. Thank you.
I thought there's some kind of plan. Oh, maybe not, maybe 2000. There was some, I'm just seeing, there's some sort of ad hoc building study committee that was dated July 21st, 2000. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of memo.
Wow.
I didn't get to look at that. Building-
So it's starting to feel like the whole pool issue is going to be one of these things that, so many things have to line up now.
Yes,
Because it's one thing if there was nothing else on the table and it was just a matter of finding money to make the repairs, but throwing in the mix of what Beecher Road School is talking about in terms of needs for more class space and how that may be accomplished, whether it's building out and extending the footprint of the school or utilizing the pool area itself. Or as Dwight mentioned, I think there's some rumbling over at Beecher about, a whole new school, which, would be, $100 million or something. So how all this gets, I don't know what the order is anymore, or who gets to decide which piece of it. So it's almost like we're just going to be in a holding pattern for quite a while, it seems.
right. So the Board of, I guess this town committee for the building committee, they'll bring their recommendations to the Board of Selectmen.
No, they'll bring the recommendations that they come up with to the Board of Education.
Board of Education.
And then the Board of Education just decide on which way they would like to go. Then they would bring it to the Board of Selectmen. That's what I was told.
So,
Sheila said.
okay,
I think it's just to chime in quick. I think it's really extremely important for them to get a qualified and architectural engineering firm in.
yeah,
Who can not only see what has to be done on a temporary basis, but also look at the space needs in the future and also, have recommendations, either adding a wing, building a new building somewhere else or whatever it is. But I think that, that's going to be extremely important to whatever the Board of Education decides.
and then the question is, depending on what they decide, if it does involve the pool, how quickly would they even move on that? And while that's all being decided, this is one of those what-if situations, can there still be a working pool for a few years by, us rec department contributing the 17,000 or 20,000 or whatever it is, and then,
To me, that's a no-brainer. I think it's important that we put this pool up and get it up and going for 3 years and decide, because they're going to drag their feet along the way like this. The Board of Selectmen, they're very good at passing things off to other departments. They passed off the pool to the Board of Education. Now they have it there. I think what we should do is really get on this and make sure that we open up the pool for at least 3 years and go with that mindset. Not that we're closing it. We're going for 3 years and then see what's going on. If it's going to close, fine. If it's not, then we're on a good way to get going, to get this pool up and running, because it's only gonna last for about 3 years, with just the one thing, repair of the filters. I think it's important that we do this. Get that pool up and running.
I agree.
Hey, Johnny, I would make that recommendation. I just briefly share that with everybody tomorrow evening when you're there.
Thank you.
And the importance of what you were saying, just to keep the pool going, get it back up and running for the community. And then that'll give us another 3 years or whatever to make it, whatever.
Just see which area we're going and what angle we're going at. That'd be a good thing, whether if they're gonna close it or if we can, start with our full repairs. Well, let's get it going.
So one little wrinkle in that idea. I agree. I mean, that's definitely one way to go about it. I did watch the joint meeting the other last week with finance and the selectmen, and Brad gave a great presentation because all of this is in his budget. The repairs. He gave a really good presentation. I think it's 5 or 6 year plan. He took the report that was done, kind of like went through it, made recommendations of which things he thought needed to be done. He thought some things were grandfathered in, other things didn't have to be done. But the bottom line was, it's as much, or his number came in as much or more than the report that the consultants did. And when someone asked him if, would he recommend, because remember now, that's just capital budgets or proposals over the next 5-6 years. Someone asked him, if we're not going to do step 2, 3, 4, should we do any of this? And he said, absolutely not. So that was kind of I was a little surprised by that. So that may sway some decision makers.
Well, that's Brad's way of looking at something. If he can't finish the whole project, he won't do the project, and that's not a right way to look at it. You need to get this project going right now, because if we don't do anything right now, and we just fumble along, this pool is not opening for at least another year. You have to order those filters. Those filters take 3 months, 3-4 months. So we're talking 3-4 months to order filters in December, January, February, and March before the filters even come in, before they get in, and it takes him another month, a month to 6 weeks to get the pool up and running and going and everything once they're installed. We're talking April, May, June. We're talking maybe we'll have it for the summer. But we'd have it for the summer, and then we'd have it for recreation. We'd have it for the pool. We'd have it for WAC, the camp, everything like this. That's the way we look at it, because we're looking at the kids and the programs and the people. Brad looks at it, he's a very professional. He's mint and by the book and everything like this. And he says, why do this if we're not going to do the whole thing? But sometimes you need to look at it and say, let's get it started, at least get it started. And then it comes to a part where, you're putting $30,000, which it is, you're throwing $30,000 on the table. That's what you're throwing on the table. And you're saying to yourself, here's the gamble. Does the pool keep going or does it stop? But at least it goes for a little bit, and we don't just end abruptly and everybody's caught with it and we're without anything. That's my thoughts.
So John, two questions. Number one, I'm wondering if we could point out to everybody, if it's 3 years and it's $30,000, so it's basically $10,000 a year.
Correct.
So obviously the money has to be put up first, but it could be spread out over 3 years conceivably somehow. That's number one. Number two is I am very, very concerned about the impact of the numbers of kids coming to camp if the pool is not open.
Well, I'm doing it this way. I was in camp as a camper from 1964 to 1970. The pool was built. We had no pool. We had nothing. But I'm working on the side. If this is the way it's going to go, I'm going to be working with the different areas with the JCC and also working with Mr. Taddy and see if we can come up. We might have to pay for busing. We'll see if we can come up with something where the kids get at least 3 times a week to go swimming somewhere. We'll look at something that we could do or take them or go more beach trips and things like that. We're not going to just drop it completely. And we also going to look at professional water slides and things like that we'd have on campus that we have here that we can use in it in a period. Everybody would have at least 2 periods a week going on that. Not the ones like we buy at Costco, you know, for $29.95. I'm
Right.
talking about the industrial ones, the real good ones. And we can look at stuff like this and say, this will be our carryover that we can help you keep the program going. If it gets to this point, it's not going to open. So we're prepared, or going to be prepared.
Okay, thank you.
One other thing, I just wanted to follow up on Mike's comment about Brad. Brad did a good job outlining it. But he's got money for the next 5 years for repair of the pool. This is gonna come up again next year in Brad's budget. So, you know, hopefully, you know, if we get the green light to go forward with a filter, it'll maybe start a snowball to help move things along in the future.
I agree. Good point.
It's a really important discussion. You know, I think we all feel strongly we want to see the pool stay open and get things rolling as soon as possible. You know, also grateful for all the families that did send support letters, and we encourage people to continue to send them, and then they get sent on to the Board of Selectmen. Will they ultimately get to the Board of Finance as well? The support letters, or it goes to the Board of Selectmen?
Personally, the board is like BJ, you know.
Okay, any other comments about the pool? Mary, you've been with the president of WAC and on this board. Any other thoughts or comments you wish to contribute with Jane?
A lot of information to take in right now.
Sure. Okay. Jane, any other comments from you about the pool? Okay. All right. Teresa and Chris, this is near and dear to your heart, I know, so we'll continue to see what we can do to impact.
And Mary, any information that we get right to you. We get it right to the commission, and make sure you get it right away, right quick.
I appreciate it.
Now, the next item on the agenda under the pool was WAC fees. It seems that we should table that for now because that, you know, first things first, right? So let's table that discussion for now. Unless anyone feels strongly that they wish to have anything to say about that right now. Looks like we have bigger fish to fry, bigger pools to swim in right now. Personnel, there's no personnel. Summer concert, so nice that Kathy has joined us here in the office tonight. Kathy, please take it away. Our fearless concert leader.
All right, the summer concerts, we haven't started yet, looking for the bands, but we usually consider having bands from last year, at least one, come back and, so if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear, you know, if there was a favorite band that you had or heard about. But I'll be starting right after the Christmas holiday looking for 4 bands for next July. And the first week also is, I think it falls right on the 4th. So we will probably have our first concert on the Wednesday or Thursday of that week instead of the holiday, of course.
So, as always, the concerts were great. Good turnout. You satisfied, happy? Jim, I know you.
What's that?
And
Are you satisfied with the turnout?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a couple of days, you know, last year that, you know, were bad weather. I think we was there at least 2 out of the 4 weeks that we had bad weather. But other than that, no, I think we did okay, right? Yeah,
It's such
especially
a,
the last week.
it's such a great community event. Thank you so much for dedication you pour from this. And a lot of people linger. After the concert's over, there's still people lingering. So obviously people want these community events.
And here,
You can't hear?
Nope.
Oh,
Here, here.
hear. I thought you said can't hear. I'm like, oops.
No, we can't hear. You're a little faint.
You can't hear.
Are we muted each other?
Oh,
Are we muted?
Okay?
could you hear us before?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to thank Kathy. You know, people linger at these concerts and obviously people want these community events. And so it's ever important, and I guess should continue to figure out how to continue to build more community events. Through rep, yeah. Which leads us to the road race and other ones.
Why, it'd be nice to have a big community tent to put up. Just mentioning that for capital budget situations possibly might come up tomorrow night, just in case.
I hear you, John.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Comment that last concert, I saw people lingering, but I saw a ton of people dancing and enjoying themselves. They were great.
Okay, and that was, who was the last band again?
That was the Rum Runners.
Rum runners.
Road Runners. That's right.
They always draw a huge
And that
crowd.
was and this was the first time coming, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they always draw a huge crowd. They got a
One
large
or
following.
two of the band members live here in Woodbridge, so they were
Yes.
like loving that they were feeling close to home.
Yeah.
It drew a nice crowd, but honestly, there were a ton of people up dancing at the end of that. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Sounds good. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
So,
Am I, you can hear me?
let's talk, we'll continue, you continue to hold the floor here, Kathy, the road race.
Oh, yes. I think you got the notes online. I'll just go quickly through it. But I just wanted to give you just a rough idea on what happens with the road race, how we plan it. I start off in the summertime, we start planning, and we hire Tom Jacobs. Actually, we hired him already for next year. So we just, make sure that he's available for the week that we're going to have it. And it's usually always the first week in October. We're thinking about possibly maybe changing the date because we just seem to have bad weather. It seems like around the time we have the race. So we're thinking about that. We're going to, keep that in mind anyway. But last summer, Tom met with us over the summer months in our rec office. He met with me and Jim and John, and we actually put the QR code on a website, and we had all of our registered runners sign up on the computer ahead of time, or they could have signed up the day of, but they had to have their cell phone to register. We took no money the day of the race. It was so nice and it was so organized. It was so much faster in all the ways, all from the time we started until the time it was over. It was great. The runners, yeah, like I said, they also, signed up that morning, but they had to have their cell phones on them. Then mid-June, a letter was sent out, and I give you a copy of the letter for all of our business owners in Woodbridge. And we also had, a flyer was made, and we had all the sponsors listed with the date, time, and places of the race with the barcode on it. and had them out in various places. This year though, we got, which we're so happy, we got 3 co-sponsors. We had Caldwell Banker, which we always have. Surf Pro wanted to join Amity Physical Therapy, and they also want to do help us with our triathlon and the road race from now on, which is really, really nice. So think I have my job cut out for me for finding co-sponsors. I'm hoping now. But the large posters were made and posted in local businesses. A banner of advertising the road race was placed on center field 2 weeks prior and left up after the race for a while. And sandwich boards were at the corners in the intersections in town. And a shirt design was done by the coordinator, me.
Beautiful, Kathy.
Shirts and medals were given out to all the students at the fun run. And shirts, and we had beautiful lunch bags made with our logo, and were given out to all the 5K runners. And we did not serve any hot food the day of the race, but we had an ice cream truck come at 10:30 a.m. to give out all of our runners a free ice cream, and they got like a little coupon inside their bags.
If people
So,
could purchase ice cream if they wanted.
what's that, John?
People could purchase ice cream also if they.
Oh,
wanted to
yes,
go through
yeah.
There, and people loved it.
So they could get free ice cream or purchase something special.
And I sent out all the sponsors a letter of thanks after the road race. But I just wanted to, tell you too that we kept all the sponsorships the same for platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. It was 300, 250, 200, and 150. And we had 3 co-sponsors, which took in a total of 3,750. We had 9 platinum sponsors, 4 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze. So we took a total in of $8,400. And you can see here that I did the revenue, the expenses, and the income. So for this year, our income was $4,044.97. We had 72 racers for the 5K and 18 for the fun run. And I also gave you a sheet of the road race donations to the food and fuel in the path from 2006 all the way till now, the present. And then the last sheet shows you all of the expenses for the road race and all the revenue we took in. All the expenses and all the sponsors. So our balance in our account right now, right, is $6,914.89.
Wow. Thorough. Thank you, Kathy.
So now we have to see if I would like to give, of course, a big chunk of this to the food and fuel to the town of Woodbridge, but we would have to have you vote on how much.
It's a different term, right? It's not food and fuel, it's something,
Residents Assistance Fund.
resident assistance.
Residents Assistance
Gotcha.
Fund.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always called it food and
It's just changed.
They changed.
Oh, okay.
They changed it.
And I'd like to see something like $6,000, maybe $3,000 go to the Citizens Assistance Fund and $1,000 to the Recreation Fund for to buy equipment for recreation that we, cut out of the budget. Yeah, that would be a great thing to help both programs. But that's all.
Like maybe a nice big tent, so when I have my concerts, we could, can have it up in case it's really sunny or
We're working on it there.
raining.
So, so would someone like to make a motion? So one idea is, motion for $3,000 to be donated to the Resident Assistance Fund donation and 1,000 for recreational commitment, equipment,
A commitment to
a
equipment.
commitment to equipment.
Motion?
Smith, I think you're muted.
Smith,
Sorry, before we take a vote, is that extra money that we're not going to donate or to purchase equipment with? Is that enough money in there, John, to get us through the first to start planning for next year?
Yes. There'll be 2,000 in there to start with.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we leave you enough in there.
yeah.
Quick question, John. Do we have to vote to move money for if we did $1,000 for recreation? Do we need to do that?
Yes,
Do?
yes, per Tony, we have to vote on both of them. One
Okay.
vote would be for the 3 and another vote for. Good point.
Okay.
So we have to split the vote?
Split the vote, that's two separate.
Okay.
Pretty one motion. right?
Oh, one motion.
Yeah, you can do one. One motion, you do one, as long as, you know, you vote. that it goes
You
for
vote, all right,
that.
one motion and you vote that 3,000 goes towards assistance and 1,000 goes to recreational fund.
Get nervous.
We'll split it that way.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion to donate $3,000 to the Family Assistance Fund,
Resident Assistance Fund,
Resident Assistance Fund, and $1,000 in commitment for recreational use.
okay.
Correct.
Assistance.
Second?
Smith.
Second.
Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of $3,000 being donated to the Resident Assistance Fund and $1,000 to rec for purchasing equipment? Please say aye or raise your hand. Aye. Jane and Bill, we want to hear from you. Jane, you're upside down.
Oh, there she is.
You're muted.
Just
Oh.
just raise your.
Oh, you raised your
Right.
hand?
Yeah.
In favor? And Bill? We don't hear you, Bill.
You there, Bill?
I was. Am I there?
You're
Yeah, you
there
gotta,
now.
you just unmuted yourself.
Are you in favor or not? You need to vote.
What's your vote, William?
He keeps muting himself.
We didn't hear your vote. You're muted, so
Now you're unmuted.
I'm a proxy for Bill. He said yes.
All right, Bill, you're unmuted.
Now it says mute.
No,
Yes.
it's,
Say yes, we have a chance.
it's,
Yes.
it's green. That means you're unmuted.
Me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Say yes.
That's you, I know.
and Mary, did you vote in
See
favor?
how it's-
So
I
long.
still can't hear Andrew.
So long. Okay,
Yeah, but it says.
so
mute.
all in
That's
favor
weird.
was,
That's weird. Look at mine.
yeah.
We're
okay.
unmuted.
I have one last thing I'd like to say. I'd like to give some kudos out to some people. Steve Cahoon, Sandy Simowitz, Dave Smith, Johnny V, Bigliotti, Teresa and Chris for the fun run. They set this up. Without them and their support and everything running like that, we wouldn't be able to run the fun run run the regular race as we would the 5K. They do a great job. They're independent of us, and they come over and then they work again at the road race. And the biggest one I'd like to thank is Dave Cohen. Cohen puts in so much time. He has his crew, and the tents he puts up, the things he gets, the cones, everything he does, everything in the background that you don't see to make a road race go, that's on Dave Cohen's shoulders, and he does a great job. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you to all those people. Kathy for running it, and then having dinner for me at night when I got home that night.
And
Wow.
John,
And Jim and John, they know they're here. They're the best.
Yeah, so,
Oh,
yeah, thank you, and it's such a joy to be there for that. I also, just getting back to this possible change in date, so you're thinking maybe September, is that right?
Right.
Yes.
So what I would encourage, if there's a way to coordinate, there was the was it the diversity day? I don't think I'm calling it the right term, but there's a diversity day, and ideally, well, this year we had to change the run because of weather
Weather.
conditions.
Coordinate with that group.
Yeah, if it could happen on the same day for this big Woodbridge Rec Day,
Yeah,
which I think a few years
Great.
back we
we
did
did
have
do
that,
that,
right?
and it was great.
So there were weather issues, and then of course there's also our timer, right? Our timer.
Yeah,
has been-
that's the hard thing is the timer, because he's so committed to so many races.
So I wonder if that can be coordinated.
You take care of that, Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay. she's all set.
And I don't even know who it is on the diversity committee who to coordinate that with. Do you know?
Betsy's not here right now. They haven't pulled out positions, so I don't know.
Is it, was.
What is the name of the,
I think,
Diversity Day?
or Woodbridge and me, I forget the actual.
Woodbridge like me, I think it is.
Woodbridge like me, thank you. Woodbridge like me. So I think, I'm not sure if it was Ellen Scalatar is on that committee. I'm not sure who else is on that.
Tony Bolinski coordinates a lot of this stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Check with Jerry Shaw. She knows everything.
But John just. said-
And just to show that,
Bolinski.
Tony Valinsky.
I don't call
Right,
her.
same one's coming.
And then of course.
She here till
we have our
4:30?
timer
Yeah.
for the
so I can
that
call
day.
her tomorrow when I get in.
So that'd be great. Thank you. And then, it's always fun to do the names with John. We have to write down the people. Do people end up picking up their medals if they're not there, or their, trophies?
Yeah, we don't have.
We have nothing right now.
Yeah, I
Nothing.
think they're pretty
Give
good.
them out, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's great.
Of course, it took them a while to find out where we're hidden, but we're here.
Yeah. Thank
and
you, Kathy. And if
Kathy, make sure you check on the bagel run date.
Oh, okay.
I know that's in the second or third week in September, usually.
And is there any other local run that, I mean, I think that New Haven, it's like Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we check with.
First week in
Tommy
October
Jacobs.
is
Tom
Seymour.
Jacobs would know when all the races are in this area.
Yes, that's true.
King,
And Kathy also find out with the Jewish holidays. Or September.
Okay.
Yeah. That's.
write it down, check your holidays.
All right. Okay.
So.
Looks like I got something to do tomorrow. Make a minute. Okay.
Very much, Kathy.
So then,
We're all clear.
so then when is, where's that teaching? 10 days later. Okay, so there are a few factors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of coordination, which Kathy, you got this. All right, and then
Trick.
street recap.
Trick or treat was excellent. The firehouse put on a great display. The kids are there, an awesome fireworks display. The trucks were set up. Rosalie Rowland, if you don't know it, she does 99.9% of the work in running that and getting the trucks, and they're just were beautiful. And one of the trucks had Disney, had all the Disney characters like this, and the kids were coming back, not to get candy, but to look at the truck in groups and look at the thing and all the things from Disney that Rosalie put up. It was fantastic. It was just unbelievable. I thought they were coming back for candy, and they were just standing there. Well, we already got our candy, but we want to see the Disney truck. So, great job by the fire department. Great job by Rosalie Rowland for running the program like that. It was just a great night. It's a great thing for the town.
It was really fun giving out candy with John.
I know if I ate a little too much, but that's all right.
And the clam chowder was really good too.
Oh, yeah.
It's great, and it was a very warm night. It was a very warm night, but it was really wonderful. Great. And our director's report, unless there's anything else anyone wishes to say about that.
All set?
Take it away.
Fitness center is running. We have our program. We have Teresa really helping out a lot. She's filling in there. Besides, she's doing her virtual program on the computer. She's also filling in for her position now at pool director. She's the day person over at the pool a couple of days a week like this, which is great for us. We can get more hours opened up there. Outside facilities are in good shape. Adam has them in perfect shape everywhere. Everything is looking good at all the fields like that. The tennis court, the skating rink is up. The skating rink is running. We have it going. It's not running. It's just starting to freeze a little bit. But Timmy and his crew did a great job putting it up. We changed it around a little bit. We're actually looking, I'm talking with Adam, and maybe we can go over to the country club, and the area right next to the outdoor volleyball court is a big, beautiful flat area. Because out here we have at center field, it dips a little bit. So at one end we have 12 inches of water, and at the other end we have 4. 4 is enough. You only need 3, but 4 is enough. But if we go over to the country club, it's fenced in. You have to have it fenced in. There's no way you can put something up like this that's not fenced in. I went out yesterday and looked over at the town hall. I was walking all around over here across the street, looking at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful area like this, but not sure how safe it would be, because when we had Orange had theirs open and it was destroyed. We had ours open and it was destroyed. Kids just come and all they have to do is walk on it and stick 1 or 2 sticks with a stick, stick it through the ice and cut the liner. Well, that's another thing. We got a free liner. We just got a free liner. Our liner came and it had a gigantic rip in it. And sure enough, Brad Parsons comes to the rescue again. Him and Tim, what do you call him? In his truck, the 2 of them. They went down to Woodbridge Lumber. They got the underwater seal. Like you see on TV, that one that does it in the water. They sealed it. And we have a tiny, tiny little leak. It's not going to hurt us at all because the rain will refill it. But they did this 5-inch hole. They covered it up, sealed it. And we called John DeMeo called the company, talked to them. They said, absolutely. They're sending us a brand new one. So we have one for next year, a backup one to the one we have. Like that. So that's a good thing. But across the street here, just worried about it's a beautiful spot. But I think over at the country club, it's fenced in. It's totally fenced in and locked, and we can protect it. Because when we're not there and people are not being destructive, but other people come, they might climb and get on it and it's too soft and they break through it. And then that makes ripples and it freezes like that and their skates cut the liner. So we'll see what we can do. Maybe next year we'll have something over at where the country club is, but that's a beautifully flat area where they had the tennis courts like that. Adam will shoot it with his laser camera. We did that also this year. We shot the laser camera at the upper tennis courts, but they're built the same way. They're built to drain to the right towards the parking lot and drain off. So they're not built flat. You can't really see it when you're playing, but when you put water on it, it levels out. Programs start next week. Tomorrow night starts the basketball. Tomorrow night and Thursday night starts indoor basketball for the 2 different leagues, the younger league and the older league. Wednesday is the high school league. We're working on getting kids into that league. And the regular program starts Saturday. Gymnastics and basketball on the weekend starts on Saturday. And then after school sports start Monday through Thursday. And Dave Cohen is in charge of that. And I'll tell you what, there's another thing he does. He hires people to come and work for us. It is so hard to get people now to work. We used to have 7, 8 on a waiting list. Dave is now making phone calls left and right to have children come in and work for us, and he finds them. So he's a tremendous asset in this department. Financial report is in there. We're supposed to be at 40.9%. We're at 41.5. So we leveled out. We're right where we are after the summer program. We're right back there. We're perfect. We're right on board. We're right there in our expense account. And then the next one is the financial one.
Out of order by mistake.
What happened?
I went out of order. I think I have expenses, then income. Then
All right, well, that's why.
But, you know, it's all
All
right.
right, here's the income. We're doing very well at the income. And we're up to 160 so far for a weekday program.
179.
179. We open up next week, and we got a lot of people last minute to sign up to come in the program.
Oh, can I just comment the registration? I know I told you, Jim, registering for programs, it's such a nice system. It's so much easier. So yeah, I've talked to other people who find it's much easier to use. I don't know if you've gotten.
We've gotten
feedback.
less calls, like you said, when Rec Track, we always get, John and I will always get help to help people. You know,
Yeah.
this system, knock on wood,
Really,
it's going great. Yeah.
It's great,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really.
Tell people where to go and they do it.
It's clear, we can run.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Very, very. John, I know you're doing, for the first time in a while, you're doing a winter running club.
Yes,
So, that's 2 days a week. Is that correct? That's
Tuesday, Thursday, yes.
yes. Okay.
She's in school?
That's inside the building
Oh.
at Beecher South Gymnasium. We're working out and going there and utilizing the outside of the building, the loop and the Beecher South area on good days. Because in winter, the days we have right now are beautiful. So they
Yeah.
go outside on days they can get outside and they'll be inside on bad weather days.
And that's new, right? Have you ever had winter before?
No, that's new. That's our first attempt at doing. The kids love the program. So we'll
Yep.
see what we can do. We have to limit it though. It can't be that big of a program because we don't have the space.
Right.
But it'll fill up, which it's doing, and we'll start with that. It's a little something for the women. The next one is the operating, oh, I'm sorry,
Oh, no, you're right.
operating budget. We're at the operating budget. Let me just hold on for 1 second for me. Jim, sing to them while I go get my paper.
Jim is not gonna sing. If anyone else wishes to sing the festive holiday songs. Speaking of which, I was at Patel Chapel, I'll be a filler. I was at Patel Chapel yesterday and they had the Yale Glee Club singing Handel's Messiah. And there were Yale Glee Club participants scattered around the audience, so singing, it was quite a spectacle, it's quite beautiful. So now, Jim, you don't have to sing, because I was a filler. Go ahead, Jim.
All right, I broke it down, on the budget, $572,783. Okay, is what we're asking for this year. Last year, we asked for 546, we got 546,530. Most of our budget goes towards the minimum wage, or 24, we went up $24,000, $24,753. Minimum wage was $12,330. That dropped it down to about 13,000 in minimum wage. So the total budget that we're asking for next year, we're asking for $10,000 other than salary. That's all we're asking for. We're trying to help and stay within our means of what we have, but we have to go up because of the minimum wage going up. So I'm hoping that Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance understand that a department that goes out there and really does their best, because last year I was a little ticked at both of them, what they did to us, go cut more money. We were the department that cut the most and asked for the least. And I'm not happy with that. And sometimes I keep my mouth shut, but I'm not keeping my mouth shut anymore. When we do a good job, when this commission backs me up, okay, and I go out there and I put this on the floor, and they turn around and they say, well, let's cut $3,000, cut $4,000. They don't understand what they're doing. They're cutting the kids. They're cutting programs to the kids, and we're trying to keep those programs in and going. So I'm battling and doing this, and I'm only asking for $10,000 that wasn't mandatory. So I hope everybody, when we have the board, a selectman meeting and Board of Finance meeting with the budget, that all of you come out and sit behind me and fight for this, because I just think it's a tragedy when you do that, when the best department turns around, gives you the least amount of increase and then gets cut. And they don't tell you where to cut it. They just say, oh, just cut 3,000.
So
Not fair, not fair.
This is the January operating budget.
This is January operating budget.
Do we know the date? We do know. the date.
Not yet.
Not yet, okay, so, okay.
But we're fighting hard. We're fighting hard to do right. We understand what it is like this. We understand. And I can tell you right now, these two guys in my office put in more time than you see on their timesheets. This kid, John DeMeos, he like lives here. I thought he's gonna live with the turtles. He's here so much like this. And Jimmy never goes home early. He gets in early, but never goes home early. And anytime I ask him to do anything, he's right there. So we do a lot, and the town gets a lot from us. you know. And, I just want to say that I'm passionate about it and I'm going to fight for it and stick to our guns. And thank you guys for being behind us 100%.
That's that feeling too, and we're, the increase, bus, we have no control of the bus, fee.
Right.
That's correct.
The dumpster, is no control of the dumpster, you know, all the stuff that we, you know, you see that increase of 10,000, it's still out of our control. It's stuff like bus and,
Well, the only
No,
positive
simple.
thing, the only positive thing about it is they take the pool away from us and they build classrooms there. That dumpster's gone, baby, because we don't need it, because we're not there. We have some one little tiny office of 11 by 3, 38, 40 square feet. That's it. Well, the dumpster's gone. That's for $3,500, right there. We could save if that happens, you know, but we don't have any control over those fees. And that's where the $10,000 comes in.
So that's actually really important to remind everyone when you present, right, what those fees are, because things go up in price and it's still, we don't want to cut programming.
Correct.
So thank you, John and Jim and John, for this ongoing, going over and beyond, and really the whole team here. Oh, the passionate team, and,
Sorry to get a little bit loud, but sometimes, you know, I don't view this as a job. This is my career. This is what I love to
it's your
do.
passion.
It's what I love to do.
Hey, John, Dwight, just a real quick question. Are you raising your fees at all, or are you keeping your fees the same?
We have kept our fees the same because of COVID, because of the hardships that the people of the town of Woodbridge have. But we did go up. We've gone up every year, 3 to 5% every year up until last year was the first. We went up last year, but this year we didn't go up. So we're holding our fees this year one more time to help us.
When do you think we'd go up again?
Next year,
Next year, meaning
next fiscal year.
next physical year.
which is July,
So not this.
Not this
when it
July,
starts,
the
this
following
July,
July.
Following July.
July
Right, this-
2024.
This budget is goes into effect July 1st. And then the following year, the next budget, we will go up on our fees. But you can't go up on fees if you don't offer programs. You know, like the pool, the fitness and everything. It's hard to, when you cut back, but we're trying.
Dwight, do you think do you have any advice about that? Does that sound reasonable to you?
I'm just saying, he's gonna have to make his case, that's all. He's gonna have to go through it, explain the minimum wage, explain everything. And just, you know, go line by line. Well, you don't have to go line by line, but explain, you know, the added costs and why you need it.
Yeah.
And why it's important. And
Yeah.
then you didn't raise your fees, I understand. Why you didn't raise your fees this year, but you are considering raising them.
Oh, we didn't raise our fees, but we opened up a new program on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's 20 kids on Tuesday and 20 kids on Thursday. There's $5,000-6,000 right there added to the budget.
Right.
So
Right.
we have programs, and our programs are picking up. Our programs are picking up because people, you know, need to go to places and have places, and we're there. We're there.
Good, okay.
Thank you. What's that? Right, thank you. We need a motion to approve the operating budget as presented by John. Do we have a motion to approve? I don't know if you can even hear
Can
me.
they hear it? Can we have a motion?
I have a motion, I motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Samantha, second. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, we'll try, oh, Mike, do you have a question?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just have one question. Program for publicity. That's one area that maybe I didn't catch it. Why is that going up as much as it?
That's the bus, that's
That's
who the bus for the program to
The
take.
buses for the program,
Bus
the
fees
bus,
keep on going up.
yeah.
Oh, programs and publicity. All right. Well, please do clarify that in the presentation.
Okay, I'll mark that down.
That threw me for a bit. I'm thinking of, you know, publicity as like, you know, the ads or flyers or something. That was a big jump. So do call that out as to,
Yeah.
you know, it's an outside you know, well, yeah, transportation, just make a little note or something, or just talk about it.
Right, is any of that publicity or it's really transportation?
It's mostly goes towards the transportation. I mean, we have some publicity that we do, and comes out of that. But most of that is the transportation, summer transportation. And the after school program.
Okay. All right, good point. Any other comments, questions?
John, is there any way to estimate how much money we are not going to take in because of pool programming?
It's a good point.
Yeah, it's on those pages, it says the back of there where it says the pool and, you know, if you look at page 14, you know, there's the memberships, you know, you lose on memberships. I think we got that as 3,500 there on page 14 that you lose in
Right.
memberships.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's swim lessons on one page there, hold on. Well, yes, page 16, the swim lessons, you know, that's 11,530, so yeah, that, I mean, it's broken down on different pages on what we would lose, yes.
Where's some lessons?
Page 16, swim lessons, 12,530. Right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So,
But of course, with whatever money or revenue we're not making, then whatever costs that were associated with it, we don't have.
Right.
Possibly either. So
Exactly.
really,
Almost a wash.
right. So really, John, you know, it may be worth mentioning, although everyone at the meeting should be aware. But you know, you're preparing this budget with the anticipation of running rec the way it's always been run. Without, you know, there's been no communication or understanding that there will be no pool. So you're, you know, putting this together as if there would be one.
Right.
yeah. Good point.
Thank you.
Any other, Smith? Did you wanna? Any other thoughts?
No, the cost of the summer camp is remaining the same.
Yes.
What sheet did we?
You think we should go up? Well, we might, you know, it's. When did summer camp costs last go up? Was that pre-COVID?
No, he raised the fees last year.
Yeah, the fees were raised last year.
Right.
No, this year.
Okay,
Last year, all the fees were raised. This year, we held all the fees equal with last year.
oh, okay,
So then we skip a year, and then next year, the following fiscal year, we will go up again.
and you raised it, did we say how much?
3%.
3%?
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments? Questions, clarification? Okay, so the motion was to approve John's capital budget. We had a first, we had a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Operating budget.
I,
I'm sorry, operating budget. The vote is on the operating budget. Aye.
I,
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so moved.
Just one thing, Mike, could you do me a favor and what you just said to me about doing, I wrote something down, but I'm not sure if I have all of it. Could you text that to Jim tomorrow, what you were talking about with the,
Email.
or email to Jim? The savings of the pool and,
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a note right now.
right, so I'll have it, and I'll put it in my notes so I could speak on it. And if you're there that night, I'm gonna mess it up, you could be right next to me to bail me out. Like usual.
Excellent. Policies and procedures.
Yeah, the plan is in there. That's all the corrections that you pointed out, the spelling error. So that the plan is back.
Okay,
all corrections. That's the
That
only
was
thing.
the emergency action plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any, I mean, yeah, I had submitted my modifications, but was there anything else on that we need to discuss? I don't know if anyone reread it or had any questions about it. There's no room.
No, you already passed it.
It's just with-
It's just fixing the spelling errors, and so we look professional and not Polish like I am.
There's some, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to go over all whatever typos there may be, but I know there's some on page 20.
On page 20, there's still, this is in the new one?
The one that
Mail was
was,
in charge of page 20.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's just joking.
I'm just joking.
Oh, all right.
Throw the mail under the bus.
This was the. Do you remember, do you have it in front of you, Mike? Page,
Yeah. It's the page 3.09 dealing with blood.
yeah,
So yeah, so there's a few typos there.
where?
Feces and diarrhea.
I think that, what did I, oh,
Pray for that.
you know, I think that is, I remember looking at that and thinking, it might actually be the way, one of the ways in which you can spell it.
It's a crappy way of spelling it, but
Ha ha.
Google it.
Maybe it's the French spelling. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's British or
Oh
something.
my God, that is not how you spell it. No.
There, apparently it is a way to spell it.
Like color, COLOUR.
That's British too.
Okay, that's fine. It caught me, and I looked it up, but I didn't see the alternative spellings. But that's fine.
The alternative is Diarrhea
we know. Oh,
with no O. I think that might be British. So it, you know, it depends if we care about that. You have a strong feeling about that, Mike?
No. If you're completely, sure and aware that it is an alternative, that's fine.
I do see it. I just Googled it.
Okay.
What was the other? Oh, and feces, right? Or where is that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that is. Yeah. We're suddenly going British. Okay. No, that is a waste.
I'll set it up.
I think. Yeah. All right. Is there any correspondence?
Well, of course, the only thing is the 54 letters that came in, and they've been your letter and John's letter. that
Oh,
we-
right.
That's in the back of that's the last thing in the packet.
Yes.
That's your letter, John's letter.
Right,
So
the
it's
first
like-
document, yes.
Okay, So that's it. I mean, there's no
Okay.
additional.
All right. And our next meeting is in person, right?
In person, January 23rd, 7:30, up here at Town Hall.
Okay, in person,
Yeah.
yay.
123.
Hooray.
Right.
John, could you just remind everybody what time to be there tomorrow if we are able to come?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30.
30.
6:30. This is
Okay.
John Rogan.
Right.
Okay.
And we don't think the operating budget meeting will be before January 23rd, do we? If it is,
It's usually after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it will be-
so if it is, just let us know.
Right, oh, yeah.
All right. All right. Okay, well, happy holidays, however, or if you are celebrating, enjoy, may you be healthy and joyful and all of that. And do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mike is
Mike
second.
second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I
Okay, we will adjourn. It's 8:52. Thank you all for being here. Lovely to see all of you.